we should require at least 20 participants. Mm.
Okay, good evening to all. On behalf of GK Gujar Memorial Charitable Trust, Dr. Ashok Gujar Technical Institutes, Dr. Daulatrao Aher College of Engineering Karad, we have arranged various online sessions to encourage entrepreneurship, patent, research in association with Institute Innovative Council. Okay, so for this purpose, we have arranged this session by Mr. Shivam Dingne on the topic that is lean startup and minimum viable product business. So in this session, we will learn all the activities related to lean startup and how we can make the product development. So for this purpose, we have with us our proud alumni 2020 batch alumni, Mr. Shivam Dingne. He is the CEO of Capture Fiction from Karad. So I welcome you, Shivam, on this online platform. Now I would like to request Dr. Pranali Seth, ma'am, uh, Dean R&D and IIC President, to give brief introduction about today's resource person, Mr. Shivam Dingne. Please, ma'am.
Yes, very good evening to one and all. Am I audible properly?
Yes, yes, you are
Hello?
audible, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Okay, okay. Uh, so, Mr. Shivam Dingne, who is the resource person for today's speech and today's guest lecture, which is organized under IIC, that is Institutions Innovation Council, who specifically works for entrepreneurship and startups. So it is very proud moment that we have invited our dear alumni, Mr.
फॅकल्टी
Shivam
स्टुडंट
Dingne,
सगळ्यांसाठी
who
डायरेक्ट
is
जॉईन करा
working
की
as
लिंक दिली
CEO
त्याने.
at Capture Fiction.
कशाला रजिस्ट्रेशन
So
लिंक दिली की मी
he is
आता
co-founder and
एचओडी टीमच्या ग्रुपला
CEO
पाठवली
at
की
Capture
प्रणाली सेट
Fiction.
मॅडम.
So former he was MD
अहो
at
तीन लिंक दिले.
Calibrate
पहिले रजिस्ट्रेशन
Education.
दिले, दुसरी जॉईनिंग
He
दिली
is a
आणि तिसरा
motivated
फीडबॅक दिले.
entrepreneur with proven abilities in
तुम्हाला सांगू का
graphics
लिंक
and
काय?
technical
वाय
design.
वाय व्ही झेड ते हे
He
बघा.
has an experience in branding
वाय व्ही झेड
100
एच जी पी टी
plus
पीपीएच.
businesses and dominating the branding and design market
पीपीएच आहे
for
बघा लास्ट.
5 plus years. He is certified in 15 various skills like graphics design, branding, digital marketing, communication skills, budget, color psychology, photography, Google Docs, and so on. So, speaking about his technical skills, he is graduated in mechanical engineering branch. He is an inventor and innovator. He holds design patent of an invention, a safety helmet according to Indian perspective. The patent is accepted and also published in Journal 24 in the year 2020 by Office of Controller General of Patents, Design and Trademarks, Government of India. So we are very blessed that our alumni, our one of the student is here, and he will guide you, motivate you today. So I welcome Mr. Shivam on the behalf of AGTI's Dr. Daulatrao Aher College of Engineering, Karat. Welcome, Shivam. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for coming. And we will very sure that we will bless with your words. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Pranali, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to communicate with the students. to guide them towards the entrepreneurship. As we know that in Maharashtra, typically in Maharashtra, the entrepreneurship is seen as like no one can do. It is said that it is believed that we need lots of money to become an entrepreneur or to start a business. So lots of students are just diverting towards the jobs and all things, but no one is like motivated entrepreneur. We see it in very less amount of. So today we are going to start with the lean startups and minimum viable cost or minimum viable product. So can I start, sir?
Yes, you can start, sure, no
Okay.
problem.
Okay. So first of all, tell me that am I clearly audible, guys? So this will be an interactive session.
Yes.
So I expect students to communicate with me. So if you think that I am not audible, just put it in chats or any of your doubts. So students are allowed to unmute their mics or they have to
Yes,
just
yes, yes, they are allowed. They can
okay.
unmute, they can talk, they can
Okay.
message.
Okay, guys. So this will be an interactive session. I don't want a boring session. So first of all, I will share my screen. Okay. As ma'am told about me, I am actually not that great as it seems with some words, but no, I am an ordinary student. I have just completed my engineering, and then after I just took my step towards the entrepreneurship. So first of all, I would like to tell you about what is lean startup and MVP. Lean startup is nothing but the startup where we have to just work on a product which we are launching, and we have to collect the data from the market, and then again we have to use that data to develop our product in more better manner. So an MVP, it is the minimum viable product. So we are going to go in deep, but just before that we have to do something, or we have to learn something about business and entrepreneurship. Okay, how many of you guys want me to speak in Marathi, or I should continue in English as well? Just tell me, guys, what you want. स मराठीमध्ये चालू केलं चालेल का? त्यांना मग इंग्लिशच हवंय.
Both,
No,
sir, both language.
ओके, बोथ अलाउड ना?
yes,
Yes,
no
sir.
problem.
Please,
You can use.
Okay.
yeah, both. Please use both the languages because IIC. So we are going to put this video on Facebook,
Okay,
and
sure, sure. No issues.
the listeners from all over India will listen to this particular link.
Okay.
So preferably you can use English or you can use Hindi as well.
Okay, all right. No issues. I was just talking to
Yeah,
students
yeah,
that
yeah,
if they are okay with it, then I have no issues. Okay, so
yeah, yeah.
let us start.
Thanks, sir.
First of all, just I want a small answer from you that what is the difference between businessman and entrepreneur? What is the difference between businessman and entrepreneur? I want answer from students. You can put it in your chats as well. What do you think? What is the difference between businessmen and entrepreneurs? This is my first question to you. Anyone? Just write your answers in chats. Whatever you think. Okay. So I don't see any chat coming up. Okay, I will explain. It's very simple thing. If you go for example, Mr. Ratan Tata, Honorable Mr. Ratan Tata, he's a businessman. But if you see for the Mr. Mukesh Ambani, then he is a entrepreneur. The difference is that business is hereditary, means it is transferred from your family or your father to you, or your grandfather to your father, and your father to you. But the entrepreneur is a person who develops his own business, or he develops his own product, and he comes to the market with that product and he sells his product. सो दॅट इज द डिफरन्स बिटवीन बिझनेसमॅन अँड अंतरप्रिनर. म्हणजेच काय की एक जो बिझनेसमॅन आपला असतो तो त्याचा जो बिझनेस असतो तो त्या पारंपरिक आलेला असतो, म्हणजे वडील चालवत असतात त्याच्यानंतर तो मुलगा चालवतो. सो त्याला बिझनेसमॅन बोललं जातं. आणि अंतरप्रिनर असा असतो जो स्वतःच्या इनोव्हेटिव्ह माइंडसेटनी स्वतःचं प्रॉडक्ट किंवा सर्व्हिस डेव्हलप करतो, त्याला आपण अंतरप्रिनर बोलतो. दिस इज द ह्यूज डिफरन्स बिटवीन बिझनेसमॅन अँड अंतरप्रिनर. तर अंतरप्रिनर बनण्यासाठी तुम्हाला प्रत्येक वेळेला कॉस्ट किंवा कॅपिटल पाहिजेच हे काही जरुरी नसतं. तर अंतरप्रिनर काय असतो की जो स्वतःचा ऍक्च्युअल प्रॉडक्टची आयडिया जी असते तो ती आयडिया घेऊन उतरू शकतो. सो दॅट व्हॉट हॅपन्स ॲज अ अंतरप्रिनर यू डोंट नीड एनी कॅपिटल कॉस्ट टू लॉन्च युअर प्रॉडक्ट. यू कॅन सीक फॉर द कॅपिटल कॉस्ट विथ जस्ट अन आयडिया. सो being an entrepreneur is very easy than being a businessman. Businessman बनण्यासाठी you need support from your family or you need some money. That is obvious. But for being an entrepreneur, you just need an idea. You don't need to be like you need some capital investment of 1 crore, 2 crore. It's not like that. For being an entrepreneur, you can just come with an idea, you can launch that idea, you can pitch that idea to the investors. We got huge investors in markets. If they see seems that your idea is feasible or we can work on it, then they will invest in your idea and they will take you to the business. So this is the main difference between businessman and entrepreneur. Next is the main thing which we are going to see, that is minimum viable product. There are two things which we are going to see in this video, that is minimum viable product and lean startup. What is the lean startup? So first of all, I will go with the minimum viable product. A minimum viable product, or a MVP, its short form is MVP. It is a product with enough features to attract early adopters customers and validate a product idea early in the product development cycle. So what is minimum viable product? See guys, if you want to launch your product or you want to launch your business, so what you have to do directly, if you are going, see for example, I will take a mobile phone. What is the main purpose of mobile phone? A main purpose is just to call. The main purpose of mobile phone is just to call, or the all things like social media and camera, that are just complementary. These things are complementary. The main purpose is to call. So what we have to do, if we are launching any of our product or any of our business, we have to launch it with our main cause or main purpose, the exact problem which we are solving from the market. We have to launch it with that. But in case if we include lots of things to it, like all camera or the all things like display and many more things, so what will happen if you are going to include that all things, then the cost of product will be high at initial phase. At initial phase you are developing your business, you need more capital, exactly, for marketing or other purposes. But if you are going to put your all the cost in product development at initial phase, and even without market survey, while you are launching your product, the market survey is necessary. But whatever products people are going to get from you, for that product they must be the product or accessories with that are must be acceptable. Like if you are going to launch some one product with, I just as I said, mobile phone, so first you have to launch with it just with a calling feature. If people accept that and people are trying to uh, connect to each other with that product, then only they will demand for the next thing. This is how a simply product is grown. We will understand with this an example. This is example. First of all, there is one burger with just one patty, and there is another burger with some cheese and other all things, tomato. I don't eat fast food. I don't know most of the material in that burger what it is. But this is a basic difference. Can you see my screen? See the minimum viable product. The main our product is burger and the patty between it. That is our main product. So we have to launch our just main product with one service, or just whatever is our main exact service, that we have to launch it. Afterwards, after getting a feedback from the customers, we can change it accordingly. So this is what minimum viable product is. As soon if we are selling burger with just patty, later on customer may demand with onions, with tomatoes. Afterwards we have to try it, we have to experiment. That is what entrepreneurship and MVP is. You have to experiment. It is not a fixed product. But as a business, if you're working as a business, there is a fixed product which is already worked on some fixed thesis. So this is not like that. So we have to test in the market. So whatever experiment, see, as a your engineering students, that as we conduct experiments in our laboratories, right? So in that laboratories, when we conduct our experiments, that time what we have to do, we are conducting the experiments. We are taking multiple readings. In similar way, in market, you have to take multiple readings. Like if as you come with just one product, afterwards you are going to add something another to it. Later on, again you are going to add something another to it. If someone rejects any one feature from that product, just you have to take it out. This is how you have to work with the minimum viable product. We will see the difference between minimum viable product and minimum marketable product. See, there are 2 points. Minimum marketable product. Marketable product in the sense a product must be completely finished product. I know how many of you heard the version beta while using Play Store or any other things. Just say yes in your chat. How many of you heard about beta, BETA, something like BETA, while using any application or any playing any game? No one? Surprising. Never you heard the word beta, BETA? Just send yes if you heard that word.
हे झालं. विषय
Sir, chats
फोटो
disable it.
उद्या पण हे आपलेच आले सर ना आधी मध्येच नंबर द्यायला उद्या पण जावा
Sir,
करत हे 3 नंबर आणि 16 नंबरला एकच फोटो दोनदा झाला पण आहे 3 आणि 16
hello, am I audible?
एकच फोटो आहे मला काय करायचं सरांना 3 करायचं त्यांना लक्ष्मण पाटील 3 आणि 16 नंबर
Okay. Ashwin is saying yes. Okay, you have heard the word beta.
हे वेगळं असेल.
Beta, in the sense what
अक्षताकडून
it
वेगवेगळे
is the same as MVP.
तो चेंज
As I
करून
said, beta is nothing but the
जागा सोड
MVP, that
म्हणायची
is
तिथे काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे
minimum
तुझा
viable product. In that
तुझ्याकडे ठेवा
they just test it.
उद्या पण
They
जाऊ
just
सेंड
launch the
केलं
product only to get the
त्याशिवाय व्हायच नाही
feedback from the
बंद
customers. It is not the complete product.
3 आणि
And
16
once
ना
they get the appropriate feedbacks, after that they will regulate the product in a better manner, and then they launch it as minimum marketable product. Now there is some difference. We have to compare the minimum viable product and minimum marketable product on some basis. That is, first is finished product. Minimum viable product is not a finished product. It is the best thing to know. And minimum marketable product is a finished product. It is not the complete product, but it is finished product. But in case of minimum viable product, it's not finished product. Then functional product. Minimum viable product must not
पेन
doesn't
ड्राईव्ह
have
कुठे
to be
ठेवला
finished or doesn't have to be functional product. It is because of it is just launched to take the data or readings from the customers. So just with the what we say, without a glance, without proper glance, it cannot be done. So the functional product, it doesn't have to be, and marketable product must be functional product, because that is actually going to used by customer or consumer. Then minimum means only the key feature is available in minimum viable product. As I said in burger, the key feature is our patty between buns. So that is the key feature. So only that is available in the MVP. But in MMP, it's not necessary. Means no unnecessary features. Means we can add
सेव्ह करून ठेव
as
म्हणजे
many as features we want, but we will
नको
avoid adding the unnecessary
नको
features.
ते जाऊन बसाय
Next is
थोडं
our goal.
म्हणजे
Goal is to test the market, and the MMP is product with users favored features. What this means, that as I said, MVP is the thing where you have to just test the market or you have to get the feedbacks from the customers. But in case of MMP, it is the product with users favored features. Means whatever features are or users are going to ask us for these features, or as we get the feedback and the product is developed, so that is called as MMP. Result: users feedback, risk reduction, and reduce time to market and cost. It means that before we getting a feedback from the customers, if you are launching anything with some huge putting over in huge amount of cost, I guess so, reducing that time to market and costs. So these things can be done with just MVP, and after MVP, after the feedback, we can launch it into MMP. The next is the difference between MVP and product development process is must be very clear. As you can see this example, this is not an MVP. First of all, see, the first example shows that there is one wheel, afterwards chassis and both wheels, afterwards body, and then complete car. So this is not an MVP. Don't misunderstand the MVP. MVP is actually the purpose serving product. This, the first picture that it is mentioned that this is not MVP. It shows the product development process. That first wheels are made, then chassis is made, or that body is made and assembled. This is a product development process. But what is MVP? MVP is first product must to be serve the purpose. We cannot take wheel and travel just with a wheel. So see, this is a MVP. Our first goal is to travel. In this example, our first goal is to travel. आपल्याला फक्त चालायचं
हॅलो
आहे,
सर
म्हणजे डिस्टन्स कव्हर करायचा आहे. चालणं म्हणण्यापेक्षा डिस्टन्स
हॅलो
आपण कव्हर करायचा आहे.
बोला
तर
की.
तो डिस्टन्स आपण कसा कव्हर करणार? हाऊ वी आर गोइंग टू कव्हर द डिस्टन्स?
हा.
फर्स्ट वी विल यूज इट इज शोन दॅट स्केटबोर्ड. पहिलं इन्व्हेन्शन टू अवर पर्पज काय आहे आपला, की
अरे
डिस्टन्स कव्हर
बापरे,
करणं.
दोनदा
Our purpose is to cover the distance or travel the distance. So we are using skateboard.
1 किंवा 2
Skateboard
तारखेला का
purpose serve करते. Main purpose आहे traveling distance. Next, त्यामध्ये जे काय ऍड होतं,
हो.
दॅट इज हँडल फॉर स्टॅबिलिटी.
चालतं
आपल्याला
सांगा
स्टॅबिलिटी
तुमचं म्हणजे
मिळण्यासाठी एक आपण
कन्फर्म काय
त्यामध्ये
त्याचं
हँडल
2
ऍड
वेळा म्हणजे
केलं.
काय कमिट
सो
आहे
दॅट इज
का
अवर
काय
सेकंड मोस्ट डिफरन्स. थर्ड काय आपलं,
कमिट आहे का
त्यामध्ये
काय
बायसिकल वी हॅव ऍडेड 2 व्हील्स आणि आपण त्याला अजून इफिशियंट केलं.
हो.
फर्स्ट मध्ये काय
मग
होतं,
कमीच यावं लागेल
इफिशियन्सी
का
आपली कमी होती, कारण आपण आपण जो
मुक्कामी
पेडल
यावं
करणार,
लागेल
दॅट
कसं
आपला जो फूट आहे तो डायरेक्ट फ्रिक्शन मध्ये फ्रिक्शन फोर्स यूज करून
बरं आणि
आपण
ह्यांना
जमिनीला
शेवडे
डायरेक्ट
सरला
पुश करत
सांगितलं का
होतो. सो फोर्स इज अप्लाइड
शेवडे
ऑपोजिट इन
सरला
डायरेक्शन टू दी ग्राउंड डायरेक्टली. पण तेच जर आपण मेकॅनिझम ऍड केले, वी इंट्रोड्यूस
आला
चेन
8
अँड
दिवसात
स्प्रॉकेट
दोनदा
मेकॅनिझम.
म्हणजे
So in
लई
this
होतंय
mechanism, what we have done, we have just increased the efficiency. Fourth product, we have
हा
increased,
ते
we have taken it to the power, म्हणजे मॅन
हा
पॉवर तिथे
तेच ना
लागतच
असा
नाही.
विषय होतो
फोर्थ मध्ये त्यामध्ये काय केलं आपण, ऑटोमेट केली. जी एनर्जी आपण क्रिएट करतोय किंवा जनरेट करतोय ती आपण काय केली,
बरोबर
इम्प्रूव्ह केली. सो
चालतं
मॅन
सांगा
पॉवर पूर्ण
तुमचं
रिड्यूस
जसं
केली.
फायनल
दिस इज द
होईल तर सांगा
प्रॉपर डेव्हलपमेंट
शक्यतो
ऑफ एमबीपी,
एकाच
दॅट इज
विजिट मध्ये जर
मिनिमम
झालं
वायबल प्रोडक्ट टू
बरं
अ
होईल
फिनिश्ड
कारण
प्रोडक्ट.
आम्ही
अँड
अकाउंट
ऍट लास्ट कार.
खोलायला येणारच होतो
नेक्स्ट
आता
आपलं काय नीड आहे आपली, की मॅक्सिमम पीपल जावे, एका म्हणजे
हं?
ट्रॅव्हलिंग ऑफ मल्टिपल पीपल्स. सो कार इज
तेच की
इंट्रोड्यूस. सो दिस इज
कारण
हाऊ
काय
एमव्हीपी
होतंय
वर्क्स इन व्हेरी
जवळपास
सिम्पल
असलेल्या
मॅनर.
गोष्टी होते लय लांब असते की लयच होतं आहे का?
Next is difference
चालतंय
between
चालतंय
product and
सांगा
service. This
तुमचं
is
जेव्हा
very
होईल तेव्हा
important thing. डिफरन्स बिटवीन
अकाउंट पण
एक
त्या दिवशी
प्रॉडक्ट आणि
ओपन नाही
सर्व्हिस
व्हायचं
यामध्ये
राव.
काय
आहे ना,
डिफरन्स
अकाउंट
असतो
एक
हे
तासभर तर
खूपच
जाणार.
महत्वाचं असतं. कारण कसं असतं, बऱ्याच लोकांना सर्व्हिस आणि प्रॉडक्टचा डिफरन्सच
तास
माहित
दीड तास
नसतो.
लागतो.
ह्या केसमध्ये काय आहे, अ प्रॉडक्ट इज अ टँजिबल आयटम
हम्म.
दॅट इज टू पुट ऑन दी मार्केट
चाल
फॉर एक्वेशन अटेन्शन
चाल तुमचं
or
झालं की सांग.
consumption, while a
चालेल.
service is an intangible item which arises from a output of one or more individuals. म्हणजेच काय जे प्रॉडक्ट असतं तो एक टँजिबल आयटम असतो. किती लोकांना टँजिबल माहिती आहे? हाऊ मेनी पीपल यू नो व्हॉट इज मीन बाय टँजिबल? Guys, you are not replying here. This is not good. I have never conducted such type of sessions. What is meant by tangible? Okay, tangible means the things which we can touch with our hands. That is called as tangible. म्हणजे कोणती अशी गोष्ट जी आपण आपल्या हाताने टच करू शकतो त्या गोष्टीला आपण tangible बोलतो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल दिस पेन, इट इज अ प्रॉडक्ट, कारण मी ह्याला टच करू शकतो हाताने. दिस इज अ प्रॉडक्ट. बट सर्व्हिस, फॉर एक्झाम्पल सोशल मीडिया इज अ सर्व्हिस. कॅन यू टच युअर फेसबुक बाय विथ युअर हँड्स? स्क्रीनला टच करू शकता, फेसबुकला नाही टच करू शकत. दॅट इज अ सर्व्हिस. सर्व्हिस काय असते, एक इनटँजिबल असते विच अरायझेस फ्रॉम आउटपुट ऑफ वन ऑर मोर इंडिव्हिज्युअल्स. म्हणजे तिथे ऍक्च्युअली बसलेले लोक असतात जे तुम्हाला तुमचं काम सोपं करण्यासाठी मेथड्स प्रोव्हाइड करतात. त्या मेथडना आपण काय बोलतो, सर्व्हिस बोलतो. So the main difference between product and service are these. First, like products are objects or systems made available for customers. Service are transactions where no physical goods are transferred from one seller to another buyer. म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल माझी कंपनी आहे कॅप्चर फिक्शन, वी प्रोव्हाइड सर्व्हिसेस. वी आर नॉट अ प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी, वी आर सर्व्हिस बेस्ड कंपनी. फॉर एक्झाम्पल फेसबुक, ट्विटर ह्या सगळ्या सर्व्हिस बेस्ड कंपनी आहेत. देन आयफोन, सॅमसंग, जे काय आहे रेडमी, ह्या सगळ्या प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी आहेत. ते ऍक्च्युअल प्रोडक्ट डेव्हलप करतात. नेक्स्ट इज टँजिबल. सर्व्हिसेस आर इंटँजिबल. सर्व्हिसेस आपण टच करू शकत नाही, प्रॉडक्ट्स आपण टच करू शकतो, फील करू शकतो. सर्व्हिसेसला फील करू शकतो पण टच करू शकत नाही. नेक्स्ट इज प्रोडक्ट्स आर मॅन्युफॅक्चर्ड, स्टोर अँड ट्रान्सपोर्टेड. प्रॉडक्ट्स हे मॅन्युफॅक्चर केले जातात, स्टोअर केले जातात, ट्रान्सपोर्ट केले जातात. बट सर्व्हिसेस कॅनॉट बी मॅन्युफॅक्चर्ड, स्टोअर अँड ट्रान्सपोर्टेड. असं स्टोअर करण्यासाठी किंवा मॅन्युफॅक्चर करण्यासाठी अशी काही गरज नसते सर्व्हिसेसना. दॅट्स वाय सर्व्हिस बिझनेस आर थोडे बहुत ही मिनिमम इन्व्हेस्टमेंट मध्ये, म्हणजे खूपच कमी इन्व्हेस्टमेंट मध्ये तुम्ही सर्व्हिस बिझनेस हे
हॅलो, हा डिस्कनेक्ट झालं होतं का? ओके ओके ओके, नो प्रॉब्लेम नो प्रॉब्लेम. सर चालू आहे ना. किती वेळ लागतो? अर्धा तास. हा? अर्धा तास. हा, तिथं बघा मीटिंग चालू आहे. होय, बघून तर जावा की.
okay. Sorry,
Yes,
I
yes.
don't know why, but
You are
my
audible.
okay, my Wi-Fi just got reboot. What was the last word, last sentence you heard from me? What was the last sentence you just heard from me? Last, on which topic I was speaking? Can anyone just tell me?
प्लस विद्यार्थी IAS आहे ना. प्लस विद्यार्थी.
Hello?
आता काय आता ते session आज कंपनी काढली
Anyone
त्यांनी
can just tell
स्वतःची.
me what was the last point you heard
कुठल्या
from me?
मेकॅनिकल हो मेकॅनिक 2020 चा पास आउट. सिलेक्ट झालं तर 10 लाखाची कंपनी पण नाही म्हटलं मला बिझनेस करायचा. कसला बिझनेस केला? आता हे डिजिटल मार्केटिंगचा.
Okay. Tangible product. Okay, oh my
एवढं
god, it
पैसा
was.
असणार आहे
I just spoke a lot away from that. Okay, it's okay. Tangible and intangible products. Can you see my screen, right?
दुसरा कोणाचा लॅपटॉप नाही का होते
Okay, is
आशिष
my
पाटलाचा
screen
आहे की
completely visible?
आहे का पाटला ते लॅपटॉप इथं तुम्ही हे करू येणार की रेंडे सरला फोन करून सांगायला सांगायचं येते लगेच
Tangible products and intangible. Tangible things are that we can touch with our hands. That is called as tangible. Intangible is that we cannot touch it with our hands. Next thing is products are manufactured, stored, and transported. Services cannot be manufactured, stored, and transported. Similarly, as products, we need to store the products. If there are some live products, then we have to store it in appropriate temperature and all things. So this is the thing difference between product and service. For examples, product are mobile phone, furniture, food items, vehicles. That are products. What are services? Services are cleaning, car repair, medical checkups, haircuts. That are services. Products cannot be returned or replaced. It means that, sorry, products can be returned or replaced. Products we can return or replace the products if any product is damaged, but services cannot be returned or replaced. For example, if once you cut your hair, afterwards, what replace you are what return you are going to get from it? So you cannot return or replace any service. Products sold can be identical. The products which we are selling, that can be identical. For example, if you are going in shopping malls and if you are buying something, like if you are buying some biscuits, you can see similar packets are kept all over the, means all the products, all the packets are just similar to each other, so that is identical. But for service is exactly as the customer wants, so service cannot be identical to everyone. Services depend on the what we say, expectations of customers. So this is the difference between product and service. Now we are going to see what is the lean startup. A lean startup is an approach to build new business based on the belief that entrepreneurs must investigate, experiment, and test and develop the products. This is how actually the lean startup works. We are going to see some case studies, but before that, we must see what is the lean startup. See, lean startup and the thing MVP, that is minimum viable product. This both works together very efficiently. These both things are made to work with each other. The lean startup is an approach in which what we have to do, just we come with an idea, then we build a product with that idea, then we sell that product in market, we measure that product, that like that product is acceptable with from the customers, or who is consumer, who is customer, that we classify first. Afterwards, we collect the feedback data from the customers or consumers who are going to use that product in their day-to-day life. From that data, we have to learn the things, and again it comes to the idea. So it is a complete cycle where what we do, ideas, then we build the product, then we measure the data, and then learn from the data, and again we will modify our product or modify our ideas with the feedbacks. So that is how a lean startup works. Means rather than launching a huge phone, yeah, phone with a huge features, first you have to launch it with the basic features, then again what we have to do, you have to launch with it with some improvements from the feedback data which you have received from the customers. This is how the lean startup works. The best examples of lean startup, Google is a lean startup. Google works on the lean startup program. As if you remember, Google was launched in 1998, I guess. In 1998, since 1998, Google was just a search engine. Google was just a search engine in 1998. Afterwards, slowly it progressed. Now we are using Google Meet, as we're saying. Now Google is in documents, Google Docs, all of the things like Google Meets, connectivity, classrooms. Google got now multiple products. The main product of or the main company which Google owns, that is called as Alphabet Inc. I don't know if you are aware about that or no. Alphabet Inc. So that Alphabet company, Google is a sub branch of Alphabet. So Google is now having its own platform or own storages. Just before it was a search engine. So this is how lean startup works. Google actually surveyed the market. He conquered the market. That's like Google. When we are using Google, we were searching many lots of things. Later on, we were using some connectivity apps like Twitter, Skype. That all apps are almost Twitter, not but Skype. It is almost eliminated by the Google. because the video calling feature which Google provides is very better than the Skype. So these are some basic things which, or the companies which work on the lean startup. Second is my own company, that is Capture Fiction. It works on the lean startup. As see, I guess you can see my whole screen. Yes. See, if you were, I don't know you were how much you know about my company, but as Capture Fiction, our first product was of just a logo design. Our first product was of just an logo design. If you just Google your company, then you will get it. Our first product was of just a logo design. We were just making a logos. Later on, till now, we are, within 4 years we switched to a complete branding package, which means that a complete branding, which whatever the people are required with the logo. See, it is working as a MVP. Our MVP was logo. I mean, our minimum viable product was logo. After that, what happens when just I sold one logo? Afterwards, the person said he wants letterhead as well for his company. Then again, he wants lots of things, like he want visiting card for his company. Then he want to be socially present, means he want SEO, like search engine optimization for his company. Like if anyone is going to Google his company's name, and he must rank first on it. So these are the things. So as per the customer's need, we improved our product, and now we are a complete branding firm. You can see we started with just a logo design that were costing around 2 to 3 4 thousands at that time. So the main purpose of the companies was to sell logos, but now we are in branding, a complete branding. Like now we charge for one branding almost 12,000 to 18,000 is our charge range for the company. It was our first product. See, we were selling just logo designs. If you can see the standard and premium and luxury specs. Afterwards, we done a market survey. According to people, so according to consumers, we developed our products, and now we are selling complete branding prices. So this is the difference between a normal enterprise and a lean startup. As we are growing, how people, or we are selling what people wants. We are not selling that which we are going to sell or we want to sell. This is not the thing. आपल्याला तेच विकलं पाहिजे जे लोकांना पाहिजे. आपल्याला आपण काय विकू शकतो किंवा ते विकून आपल्याला कधीच फायदा होणार नाही. लोकांकडून फीडबॅक येऊन त्यांना काय रिक्वायरमेंट आहे त्याच्यानुसार आपण बदलत राहणं, या गोष्टीला आपण लीन स्टार्टअप बोलतो. This is our client. So this is how lean startup works in case. Next example, we got up Facebook. When Facebook was launched, it was just as a, what we say, we can share our photos. Our relatives, our friends are going to like that photos. They are going to friend with us. We are going to chat. This was the main purpose of the Facebook. But in case if you open the Facebook now, Facebook has now marketplace. You can sell anything on Facebook. Facebook has its own community where you can connect with multiple institutes. Again, now Facebook has its own video app, video platform, like you can make short reels, or you can publish like YouTube. You can publish your videos on Facebook as well. So this is how they are working. Next thing was Qualcomm. I think all of you know what is Qualcomm. Qualcomm is Snapdragon. It's a processor company, or we can say it's an hi-fi technology company in which they generate processors, microprocessors. They build microprocessors. Firstly, before Snapdragon, they were having one more microprocessor. Afterwards, as improving on, means they are taking market survey, whatever customers are needing, they are going to add that feature in their product. So this is how lean startup and our minimum viable product works. Next, we are going to see why idea validation is very important part. Because whatever happens, businesses, you cannot just take an idea and just launch a product. It is completely your loss. Because idea validation is most important part, because we must know what people wants. If whatever idea you are coming with and you are going to launch that product, and if people hate that product or people didn't like that product, uh, whatever investment you have done, like in product development, marketing, product building, R&D, research and development sessions, all will be just waste. So before you start any further process, idea validation is very important part of any business. So in this, what we have to do, idea validation is done to minimize the risk of implementing ideas that no one wants or isn't willing to pay for. The purpose for idea validation is to make sure your product business ideas has potential and the most critical assumptions regarding your idea. Means we have to get most critical assumptions, like what the worst thing can happen with my idea. When you are having these things, consider it as a bottom line, and then you can improve on. For example, as a case study, I am going to tell you 2 to 3 case studies. First of all, the one case study that I just saw it and I built a case study. Like I was watching कोण होईल मराठी करोडपती. I think you know that program. In that there were one participant. She came and she said that she wants to make the grape juice. She wants to make grape juice, and that's why she's investing in that R&D and other things. The thing between these businesses, companies in the part of juice, like there is Real, then there is Fruity, there is Maza. Can't those people can make grape juice and they sell? She said she got a good problem. She said that no one can preserve grapes. If you made a grape juice, जर तुम्ही द्राक्षाचा ज्यूस केला and if you preserve it for a long time, म्हणजे जास्त वेळसाठी ठेवला तर त्याची वाईन बनते. This is what she said. It turns into alcoholic. But this is not the reason that companies are not making grape juice. हे रिझन इझिली सॉर्ट आउट होऊ शकतं. अदर कंपनीज, माझा कंपनी आहे, रिअल आहे, तर रुअप्स आहे, तर ती लोकांच्याकडे त्यांची R&D ची जी म्हणजे R&D टीम असते ती खूप मोठी असते. दे आर पेइंग टू मच टू देअर R&D, लाईक 2 to 3 crores ते स्पेंड करतात फक्त R&D वरती. तर त्यांना हा प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह करता येणार नाही की हाऊ टू प्रिझर्व्ह ग्रेप ज्यूस. इझिली येणार. तर रिझन बिहाइंड ग्रेप ज्यूस बनत नाही याचं काय आहे की देर इज नो नीड टू मेक अ ग्रेप ज्यूस. ग्रेप ज्यूस करण्याची गरजच नाही, बिकॉज ग्रेप इज अ फ्रूट ज्यामध्ये बिया नसतात. म्हणजे खाताना आपण त्याच्या बिया काढत नाही ना त्याची साल काढतो. देर इज नॉट अ सिंगल प्रोसेस दॅट ग्रेप शुड अंडरगो बिफोर इटिंग. आपण डायरेक्ट तोडून खातो. अशी कुठलीच प्रोसेस. आता फॉर एक्झाम्पल तुम्ही सफरचंद जरी बघितलं तरी बऱ्याच वेळेला चिरायला लागतात, त्यातल्या बी काढायला लागतात. चिक्कू असेल सीड्स काढायला लागतात. वॉटरमेलन असेल कट करावं लागतं. तर ही जी प्रोसेस असते ह्या प्रोसेसमध्ये ग्रेप्स येतच नाहीत. ग्रेप्स आणि दुसरी गोष्ट, ग्रेप्स इतके मऊ असतात की ओल्ड पीपल पण खाऊ शकतात. असं काही नाही की ग्रेप खूप हार्ड फ्रूट आहे त्यामुळे त्याचा ज्यूस करूनच पेशंटना द्या किंवा ओल्ड लोकांना द्या. इट इज नॉट लाईक दॅट. सो देर इज नो नीड टू प्रोसेस ग्रेप्स फर्दर. इट इज कम्प्लिटली रेडी प्रोडक्ट. तर त्याचा तुम्ही ज्यूस करून विकणार म्हणजे काय, नॉट नेसेसरी ना. म्हणजे इट इज, हे जसं फर्स्ट लाईन मी बोललोय, दॅट इज मिनिमाइज द रिस्क ऑफ इम्प्लिमेंट अँड आयडिया दॅट नो वन वॉन्ट्स. म्हणजे ही आयडिया कुणालाच नाही. ग्रेप्सचा ज्यूस कशाला कुणाला पाहिजे. ग्रेप्स डायरेक्ट खाईल. इट इज ऑलमोस्ट ज्यूस फॉर्म मध्येच असतं ना ग्रेप्स. तर ही एक केस स्टडी आहे की ह्यासाठी आयडिया व्हॅलिडेशन खूप इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. सेकंड थिंग, सिमिलर तेच सेम शो कोण होईल मराठी करून, त्यात एक स्टुडंट आला होता, इंजिनिअरिंग स्टुडंट होता. तो बोलला वी आर, आता एक ड्रोन बनवत होते. दे वर मेकिंग अ ड्रोन विच वे आर गोइंग टू कट द चिक्कूज फ्रॉम द ट्री और कट एनी फ्रूट लाईक मँगोज, कट द मँगोज फ्रॉम द ट्री. हा, दे ही वॉज फ्रॉम कोकण, सो ही सेड मँगोज. म्हणजे आंब्याच्या झाडावरती ड्रोन जाणार, त्या ड्रोनने ते आंबे तोडणार. म्हणजे व्हॉट नॉनसेन्स. इट इज नॉट अ प्रोडक्ट ना. हे प्रोडक्ट असूच शकत नाही. कारण काय होतं की फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल टू मेंटेन दॅट ड्रोन, ड्रोनची कॉस्ट, ड्रोन इज नॉट चीप. लाईक 100-200 रुपयाला ड्रोन भेटत नाही. इट्स कॉस्ट विल ऑलमोस्ट अप टू, कितीही कट केली तरी 20,000च्या खाली ड्रोन येणार नाही. विच इज कम्प्लिटली स्टेबल अँड आंबा कापण्यासाठी पूर्ण स्टेबल पाहिजे. सेकंड थिंग, ड्रोन चालवण्यासाठी ट्रेनिंग रिक्वायर्ड असतं. फार्मर्सना ती ट्रेनिंग कोण देणार. इट इज नॉट लाईक इतकं सोपं नसतं. गाडी चालवणं एवढं सोपं ड्रोन चालवणं नसतं. तुम्हाला त्यामध्ये एरोडायनॅमिक्स वगैरे सगळं शिकायला लागतं. सेकंड थिंग, ड्रोनची तर इफ इट इज गोइंग टू मूव्ह इन लिनियर डायरेक्शन तरी पण ते इझी राहील. पण मँगोचे ट्री आहेत, एकाच लाईनने थोडीच आंबे उगतात असे. त्या ड्रोनला कुठेही जायला लागेल. म्हणजे इट इज व्हेरी क्रिटिकल इन कंट्रोल्स. कुठला शेतकरी 20-25 हजार रुपये घालवून मँगोज कट करण्यासाठी ड्रोन विकत घेईल. बेसिक सेन्स ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट. तर ह्या गोष्टी ज्या असतात ना, दिस आर द थिंग्स वेअर यू वॉन्ट टू चेक युअर आयडिया इज व्हॅलिड ऑर नॉट. तर हे सगळे रिझन्स असतात. तुम्हाला मार्केटमध्ये जाऊन माहिती असणं गरजेचं आहे की हे प्रॉडक्टची काय गरज आहे, तर हे प्रॉडक्टचं काय ऍक्च्युली यूज काय, किती लोकांना आवडेल, किती लोकांना पाहिजे, किती लोक ह्या प्रॉब्लेमसाठी पैसे देतील. म्हणजे ह्या प्रॉडक्टसाठी जो प्रॉब्लेम ते फेस करतात त्या प्रॉब्लेमसाठी हे पैसे देतील. हे कळणं गरजेचं आहे. तुमचं जर युजलेस प्रोडक्ट असेल, म्हणजे जर तुम्ही असं प्रोडक्ट बनवलं की फक्त त्याची गरज तुम्हाला एकट्यालाच वाटते, ओनली यू आर इन नीड ऑफ दॅट प्रोडक्ट, then that cannot be converted into business or an enterprise. So this is why idea validation is very important part. Second is case studies for idea validation. As I said first, then second was Nirma. I think lots of people know the story of the Nirma. Like key person, the owner or CEO of the Nirma was Karsan Bhai Patel. His net worth is 300 crores USD in 2022. Nirma कसा होता product? It was a product when the Karsan Bhai Patel was working in a soap factory where the one large stone or one large shaped bar of the soap was cut into multiple soaps. It was divided, and while cutting that, due to the shear force, there were some chippings out of it. The chippings was falling on the ground. He used to collect that chippings and take it to home to wash his clothes, and was going to miss. He was giving that to his wife to wash his clothes. So what happens after that? When his wife was washing his clothes, it was like they were going to some canal and they're washing the clothes. There were lots of his wife's friends were there, so they also demand that bring some things to me. Then he started to sell that things from the company directly, like taking from the company and going to sell it to the his friends. Later on, what happens? He thought that the product has potential. That product really has a potential. So he just resigned from his company. He started the new company where he just started to crush the soaps and then sell it. The same thing, which we are going to see that how product is developed. The first product was he was just selling a raw material. It's like it was just chips. Later on, according to customers' need, he converted. He added some chemicals into it. Then he added some what we say colors to it. Then some flavors, yeah, some essence to it that like good smells. So these are the things. This is how the product is developed. Second, it was like Steelbird's helmet. How many of you know this company Steelbird? How many of you know? Just type yes in. So I should say that you are awake. I think. I guess. Okay. Still no chats. Okay. How many of you know? But I think almost everyone know what is Steelbird, but you are just not telling me. Steelbird is the biggest company in helmets in India, the topmost company. I don't think there is anyone who is just over or which is better than Steelbird. Someone is raising your hand. Says yes. Tell me, Tushar. Did you just raise your hand? Okay, I will continue. Steelbird smart helmet. Now the thing was, key person of the Steelbird means owner of the Steelbird is Subhash Kapoor, and he is my friend. So when I do have design in the motorcycle helmet according to Indian perspective. The difference between both helmets, my helmet, I just done market survey. I found out the reasons why people are not using the motorcycle helmets. The reasons were similar, simple. As India is lying on the tropic of cancer, so we are tropical country, so humid climate. Second thing, it's hard to कॅरी करणं सोपं नव्हतं. ते कुठं ठेवायचं ह्याच्या अवघड होतं. दुसरी गोष्ट, इंडियामध्ये इन इंडिया बाईक इज नॉट अ स्टाईल स्टेटमेंट, बाईक इज अ युटिलिटी स्टेटमेंट. भारतामध्ये बाईक ही स्टाईल स्टेटमेंट म्हणून वापरली जात नाही, बाईक ही युटिलिटी स्टेटमेंट वापरली जाते. म्हणजे बाईक कामासाठी वापरली जाते, फिरण्यासाठी नाही. तसं तुम्ही युएसए मध्ये वगैरे गेला की यू ट्रॅव्हल ऑल अलॉंग दी वर्ल्ड लाईक USA or Germany, their bike is just a style statement. They just put on their helmets, they just carry their backpacks, and they go on bike for ride. But in India, it's not like you have to bring your vegetables, you have to bring lots of things on your bike. So bike is a utility statement. सो हेल्मेट कॅरी करणं आपल्याला अवघड होतं. सेकंड थिंग वॉज हेअरस्टाईल खराब होते बिकॉज लॉट्स ऑफ पीपल आर सेइंग दॅट whenever they go to the company or then take off their helmets and all their hairs are just stick to their body, they stick to their skull. So in that case, what we're having, so these were the actual problems faced by the peoples. So I have developed my product all according to these. Like I have reduced its what is this occupying space like volume. It will be fitting in one third volume of the normal helmet. It will be protecting 95% more than the open face helmet. So ह्या प्रॉडक्ट वरती मी असं काम केलं, म्हणजे पीपल्स जे आहेत ना त्यांच्याकडून फीडबॅक घेऊन त्याच्यावरती काम केलं. बट इन केस ऑफ स्मार्ट हेल्मेट, सी there is story of smart helmet. When smart helmet was going to launch, it was completely launched by the owner. Means owner न एक हॉल बुक केला होता, सेमिनार हॉल सुभाष कपूरनी, आणि त्यानंतर त्यामध्ये स्वतः येऊन त्यांना सगळे फीचर सांगून हेल्मेट लॉन्च केलं. दॅट टाइम आय जस्ट प्रेडिक्टेड, आय जस्ट सेड टू हिम दॅट तुमचे हे पीसेस विकले जाणार नाहीत, इट इज जस्ट अ ब्लंट, म्हणजे हा कम्प्लिटली हे आहे, तुम्ही चुकी करताय हे करून. तर तो म्हणला नाही. तर स्मार्ट हेल्मेट मध्ये फीचर्स बघा काय दिलेत. सी द फीचर्स व्हॉट दे हॅव प्रोव्हाइडेड इन स्मार्ट हेल्मेट, दॅट इज ब्लूटूथ, then calling function, then music function, audio jack, voice assistant, last number dial option. इंडियामध्ये there is not a single person who is not wearing helmet just because he can't listen music in it. हे खूप इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. भारतामध्ये असा कोणताही माणूस नाही ज्याला फक्त गाणी ऐकायला येत नाहीत त्यामध्ये म्हणून हेल्मेट वापरत नाही. हेल्मेट न वापरण्याची रिझन्स खूप वेगळी आहेत. इट इज नॉट अ स्मार्ट हेल्मेट. हा, दिस हेल्मेट इज फॉर बायकर्स, म्हणजे जे ऑथेंटिक बाईक्स करतात, बाईक चालवतात किंवा रेसिंग करतात त्या लोकांसाठी व्हेरी गुड प्रॉडक्ट, नो डाऊट अबाउट दॅट. पण इंडियामध्ये जो हेल्मेट न वापरण्याचा ट्रेंड आहे, पण तुम्ही बघता जर बायकर्स जरी असले तर ते ऑलरेडी हेल्मेट वापरतात. 57% ऑफ इंडियन्स आर नॉट युझिंग हेल्मेट अकॉर्डिंग टू 2019, जेव्हा मी स्वतः हेल्मेट बनवण्यासाठी घेतलं. अँड नाव लॉ इम्प्लिमेंट केले, खूप स्ट्रिक्ट केलं, तर त्या स्ट्रिक्टनेसनी फक्त ग्रोथ झाले 52% पर्यंत. म्हणजे 47 to 52, just 5% people are increase of wearing helmet. If you are saying that the majority is declining the product, म्हणजे जर 50% पेक्षा जास्त लोक नाही वापरत आहेत हेल्मेट, then it means that ते 50% लोक चुकीचे नाहीयेत, मेजॉरिटी इज नॉट रॉंग, ते प्रॉडक्ट मध्ये काहीतरी चूक आहे, अँड दॅट वी शुड वर्क इट ऑन. तर ही गोष्ट असते. तर त्यामध्ये ही चूक थोडीच होती की त्यामध्ये कॉल फंक्शन नाही, ब्लूटूथ नाही, म्युझिक नाही, काहीच नाही, काहीच यूज नाही या गोष्टींचा. हेल्मेटचं मेन पर्पज काय आहे? टू प्रोटेक्ट युअर सेल्फ. तर ते प्रोटेक्शन झालं पाहिजे. त्या प्रोटेक्शन सोबत तुमचं काय झालं पाहिजे, त्यामध्ये जे ऑक्युपाईंग स्पेस आहे किंवा व्हॉल्यूम आहे तो कमी असला पाहिजे. यू मस्ट बी इट मस्ट बी हँडी टू कॅरी ऑल ओव्हर. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स यू शुड इम्प्रूव्ह. सो विदाउट डुईंग अ मार्केट सर्वे हे प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च केलं, ह्यासाठी मार्केट सर्वे नव्हता झाला. इट इज जस्ट अन ब्लंडर सिम्पली. इट इज गुड फॉर बायकर्स. तर हे जे प्रोडक्ट असं लॉन्च केलं, त्यामध्ये आता ह्यांचा सेल जो आहे इट इज नॉट दॅट हाय, कारण इंडियामध्ये स्टीलबर्ड पेक्षा मोठं नाव काहीच नाहीये हेल्मेट्सचं. इट इज द बेस्ट टॉप कंपनी इन इंडिया, ऍटलिस्ट इन इंडिया, स्टीलबर्ड. तर स्टील यामध्ये त्यांनी काय केलं, तर हे प्रोडक्ट जर त्यांनी आर एन डी मध्ये अजून थोडं रिसर्च केला असता, अजून थोडी इम्प्रुव्हमेंट केली असते, दे वुड हॅव मेड बेटर. बट दिस इज अ प्रोडक्ट विच पीपल डोंट वॉन्ट. दिस इज द मेन थिंग. So idea validation is very important thing in this. Next is Ashirvad Data. This is actually I will tell about this company. How many of you know that what is the full form of ITC? It is written over here that Ashirvad Data from ITC. How many of you know what is ITC? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, I guess no one knows what is ITC. ITC, if you, I think if people don't know, see products of ITC. I will tell. One is Classmate. Classmate, the biggest stationery brand in India. Not biggest, but it's a good stationery brand in India. Classmate. Second one, they are having Yippee, one of the noodle brand. You can say that noodles, pastas from Yippee. Sunfeast biscuit brand. Sunfeast Yippee, same brands. So these all brands are owned by ITC. Then Engage deodorants. This brand is owned by ITC. Ashirvad Atta, eating food, this is owned by ITC. So this, what is ITC? The main product of ITC is tobacco, if you don't know, cigarette and tobacco. ITC's full form is Indian Tobacco Company or Indian Tobacco Corporation. They were using corporation in last, I guess, 2002, not sure, but around that, and later on they changed to Indian Tobacco Company. So the main product is cigarettes and tobacco. So this is the thing. Now see, in marketing terms, if you are going to write that on Ippy noodles, which a 5-year-old kid is buying, or a 10-year-old kid is buying the Ippy noodles, and it is written that Indian by Indian Tobacco Company, how it will seem. So this is the way. So that's why they never mention a full form on any of the eating products. That Indian Tobacco, they just mention ITC, Indian Tobacco Company. Just that's the thing. So however you are going to market, that is also very important thing. To you have to identify your customers, then you have to do market research. If Ippy is sold, Ippy noodles, I think everyone has once in life, at least once in life, ate Ippy noodles. What if they are written Indian Tobacco by Indian Tobacco Company, Ippy noodles by Indian Tobacco Company? So they, will you eat in further on? So this is the thing. Whatever they are selling, so whatever you have people want, we have to give that. So this, in this way, we have to just study the market and we have to develop our business and enterprises. Next are few steps in generating an idea. First of all, we have to note down the problems faced by people in day-to-day life, which we notice. Afterwards, we have to form a group of people, because not a single person can build a company. Even my company, I'm not a single person to build it. There are lots of co-founders in there. They just choose me as a CEO because I deserve, but not as a not as a complete owner. Second thing is combine all the problems written by all the members in the team and choose any one of it. Means whatever problems people are facing, that we should combine it, we should study about it to develop an idea or to develop a project. Then we have to list down the troubles faced by the people due to above problems. This is a very important point. As I said, for the grape juice, ग्रेपचा ज्यूस नाही झाला म्हणून किती लोकांना त्रास होतोय. दिस यू हॅव टू लिस्ट डाऊन द ट्रबल्स. बट इफ यू आर नॉट वेअरिंग हेल्मेट, तर त्रास काय होतोय? इफ वेअरिंग तर काय होतोय? नॉट वेअरिंग तर काय होतोय? ऍक्सिडेंट झालं तर मरणार माणूस डायरेक्ट. इम्पॅक्ट ऑन हेड, ही विल डाय. Similarly, if he is wearing helmet, then there is humidity, there is lots of what we say vision issue. Like you cannot see complete. If you have to see even 180-degree right, then you have to turn your neck. But if you are not wearing your helmet, you can just turn your eyes. So this is how it works. So you have to list down the troubles faced by the problem people due to problems. If people are not facing the troubles, but there is a problem, then it's not necessary to solve that problem. Or even if you solve that problem, then you will not take over as your business. Next is note down the possible solutions. See, we must not stick to the only single solution for that. What we say, for example, as I gave one just case study about the steelbird helmet. He just stick to the one problem, that is making it smart, like using Bluetooth inside, then calling feature, music feature. So just sticking to one solution for that problem is not a good thing. So we must note down all the possible solutions, what we can do, how design we can change, whatever things we have to note it down all. Next is explain in detail how the product will solve your problem. You have to explain these things as you are making one solution, how your solution is going to solve the problem. So our whatever service or product we are developing, it must solve problem whatever we have identified. So explain it to your relatives, explain it to your friends, your solution or your product. Then if they agrees, then only you have to go for the next step, like you have to note down the competitors and existing solutions in market. You have to see your competition always, because what happens, competition is the most important thing. See, if for example we will see the case study of Nokia. When there was just a build up of an Android or smartphones, Nokia stick with their Windows, and that's why Nokia just flopped, because Windows was hard to use. So whatever solutions existing in market, you have to study all that solutions and how you are better than them. You have to prove that. Second thing, next thing is groom your product and make it unique. List down your USPs. USPs in the sense unique selling points. So groom your product and make it unique. It means that while seeing the competitors in market, what you have to be take some difference from that competitors. If you are selling the same product with an old competitor, and if you're new in market, then obviously the trust factor plus point is always with the old company. So to break that trust point, you must need at least 5 points or 5 USPs than them. Then only trust factor is cannot be break very easily. To be honest, if you don't know, I will give an example of Alto and Quid. Alto car, it's the most selling car in India, and second is Quid, which was a bit bigger than Alto, which was better in features than Alto. But even though Quid was not successful car, so this is the thing. Why? Because the trust factor which Alto has or Maruti Suzuki has, that is not with the Quid or Renault. So we have breaking the trust factor from the existing market solutions. You need a very strong USPs. Next thing is, after all this, when you come with an idea, as I said, being an entrepreneur don't need any investment. To be an businessman, you need an investment. So you can, what you have to do, you have to format a page. Means whatever product you have developed, you have to just convert it into a proper pitch, and then you have to go in front of investors and then pitch the idea. If you are going to pitch them, if they like the idea, then they will just say yes and they will invest in your business. But if your pitch is improper, if you are not able to convince the investor, then how you are going to convince your customer to buy the product? So this is very important thing. And at last, prepare the files and record of pitch. Whatever pitch or whatever studies you are doing, you have to just record it. This is the last thing in the session. So thank you very much for inviting me for this session. So if any questions, then just come up with the questions. I would like to answer all the questions.
Okay, all the participants, are there any question, any doubt? He is our proud alumni from 2020 batch, right? And he is currently working very nicely with various organizations. He is signing MOUs. He has developed one product. Okay, so 20, only two years he is senior, right?
Yeah, actually, I have started my business when I was in just second year of engineering. When
Yes.
I was started my business in 2016. Within 3 years, while being a college student, I developed my business, and after that, I think after 2020, I have completed my business, a full setup of my business, and later on now I also have started R&D department, like research and development. It is also what we say, me lean startup model, because we are going to see the small entrepreneurs or small businessmen who are manufacturing small parts. They are not affording the R&D departments, so we are just tying up with them, and we are going to provide them with product designs. So this is how we are working right now. So it is not like if you cannot do business, and we also help students to make start their own business. So if anyone from you want to start your own business, capture fiction is completely free for you.
Any doubt, any query from student side? Feel free to ask, or you can message in a chat box. Is there any doubt, any question, or you just give feedback? How was the session?
Yes, ask doubt.
Any doubt, any question, any feedback you can share in a chat box.
जोपर्यंत तुम्ही बोलत नाही तोपर्यंत तुमचं कोणी ऐकणार नाही हे लक्षात ठेवा. बोललं पाहिजे स्टुडंटनी.
Okay,
Okay.
Shivam, it was really nice session.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, very nice points you have explained. Okay, all the details. Okay, now I would like to request Dr. Pranali Seth ma'am to propose vote of thanks. Pranali ma'am.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
So I would like to request you to propose vote of thanks as there are no questions from student side. So thank you Shivam for accepting our invitation and joining this virtual
It was my pleasure,
session.
sir.
Yes. Thank you. Pranali ma'am, over to you.
Yes. So Shivam, it was very nice session. We have really understood what is the clear difference between between a businessman and entrepreneur. And again, we have understood what is the difference between lean startup and entrepreneurship. So thank you very much for interactive session. So you have used so many examples, and we are really proud that our alumni have too much of credentials at this age. So thank you, Shivam, for inviting, for accepting our request, and we look forward for the great association in the future also.
Sure.
So thank you, Shivam. Also, I would like to thank the coordinator of this event and training and placement officer, respected Professor Bansuri sir, for inviting for organizing such a nice event. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, students, for participation. I again request you have to motivate your friends also to join the IIC activities. It will really benefit you in the future. So thank you everyone. Thanks a lot.
Okay, all the participants, give your feedback. Okay, feedback link is already shared with you through your WhatsApp group. Okay, give feedback, you will get the certificate. Yes, thank you, Shivam. Thank you very much. Hmm?
Thank you, sir.
Thank
It
you.
was a
Yes,
pleasure
yes.
being here.
Thank you.
Bye bye, guys.